that's what we do.
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't that how we express ourselves with clothing? Isn't that how we express ourselves with our beauty and our makeup and our hair and, whether or not I'm wearing, Nike kicks or shell toes one day, or I'm putting on the Gianvito Rossi's the next day. So,
but it's an emotional journey, finding yourself and discovering yourself and evolving. We're all under construction. We're all looking for ways to improve ourselves. And it's really, truly about from the inside out. I can't bring a look alive without the spirit of you. And when you get dressed in the morning, you think about, who do I want to become today? How am I feeling? And hopefully sometimes fashion allows you to feel better. A scent allows you to feel better. A lip color, I love that red lip, it allows you to feel better. There's so many little things that you can do. Punctuation is key.
Yes.
I say don't leave without adding that, just that adding either a period or a punctuation. Some days we leave the house with just a comma because we're going to continue the story as we go shopping. You know what I mean? It's like, and wait. And then when you go and you come into Macy's and you buy, you go into Macy's, you buy a chandelier earring, and then the punctuation becomes alive. Yeah.
Well, it's important because that was a time of, once again, freedom and expression. The fashion industry keeps going back to that because that's when people were happy. That's when they were excited to wake up. That's when they actually gave themselves license to wear color. Men wore color in the 60s that was absolutely unacceptable at any other time. They wore platform shoes. They wore shoes of cork and wood. Men. So now is a time when they are reaching back to that again because it's a somber moment for some people and they need to be happy. Some people are in different places, both financially, within their family status. There's a lot going on in the world. There's war in some countries. So there needs to be something to rejoice and feel excited about. And the designers recognize that. They recognize, wait a second, what happened then? In Haight-Ashbury, the explosion of paisley and the explosion of flowers and prints on everyone. We need that flower power right back now.
It's really the power and the influence of the consumer. You have a lot of power because when you are delivering the look and you walking into the store and you're saying, why don't you have, or this is what I'm giving, this is what I'm feeling, and you're shopping vintage stores, you're influencing not only the designers, but you're also influencing the buyers. And you start to see more of what you want. So I say that, you got to utilize your resources too. And don't be afraid to kind of travel back in time to kind of paint the picture and draw the reference. Because as a designer, I'm constantly doing that as well.
And know your power. And know your power as a consumer too. Who are some of the most important African American designers now? Just to kind of take it from the soul era of the 60s and 70s to now. And it was very interesting. I don't know how many of you saw or read the article in today's New York Times style section. On the cover of the style section, it talks about, I'll give you the title.
It's a must-read,
It's very much a must-read. Fashion's racial divide. And so it highlights some of the top fashion designers right now. And, just the conversation about African American designers. Who are some of the most important African American designers right now for you, and why?
Well, we have Tracy Reese. Yeah, she's a very important designer now.
You have public school in terms of like redefining urban fashion, going after the Alexander Wang consumer and customer. You have Byron Lars, who's still, in the business, been around forever, and he's still, creating and producing, a collection. You have,
we have Lafayette, who's designing for
here on Macy's
for conservative women.
I mean, the reality is there were more African American designers in the 70s than there are now. So we have some work to do.
Yes.
And in this article, it talks about the $1.3 trillion in 2017 that the black consumer buying power will be. That's an astonishing number. $1.3 trillion.
And so going back to the idea of the power of the consumer and what we have in our pockets and in our hands.
On one hand, we can count the black designers now.
Absolutely.
You can hardly get to 5.
What's really also important to call out, too, since we're here on the stage at Macy's, is that Macy's also has a really great incubator program as well, where they are supporting young designers of color, especially, who are wanting to make an impact on the fashion scene and develop their brand and develop their line, and giving them the resources to do so.
Yes. And it's really about that. We have tons of black designers and they're very creative, but when you don't have a place to sell your clothes, it becomes very difficult. That's where the problem is. It's not that they don't exist, they don't have the distribution. And the article touches upon that as well, which I think is a really important fact. So yes, bravo to Macy's for understanding how important it is for us to get our designers really good, technical, creative responsible designers who understand that you have to make deliveries, you have to have, there's a logistic
lot
to
of work.
it. It's not like I'm super talented and, I'm doing a line of something for my girlfriends. It's a lot of work that goes into it.
It's being accepted culturally, globally. And when it's accepted culturally and globally, then we're able to express ourselves with our natural hair. For a long time, in the 60s, the reason why Angela Davis went to her bush is because that was a statement for her. It was a statement of freedom. It was a statement of expression. So, and oftentimes what happens when we straighten our hair is we do so we're accepted within the culture of the environment where we are, whether it's work, whether it's your boyfriend, whether it's your teachers at school. And it's only because that speaks a common word to whoever you're interacting with. So if you're interacting with people who have straight hair, then you're more accepted, unfortunately, than you are with people who have curly hair. So
I think that's changed. I think that we're past that. Because I stopped relaxing my hair 20 years ago. My hair is naturally curly. I wear it straight because it's easier.
Yes.
But I think that also now, I think that black women are learning more there's more products that cater to naturally curly hair. So they've developed the technology is there as well on how to manage your naturally curly hair. And as far as the workplace, I think they've turned a complete blind eye to that. I mean, remember we had the big thing about the first kids wearing braids. I mean, people got over that quick because we weren't having it. It's like, I don't care what you think. If I'm coming to work and I smell nice and I'm dressed properly, we don't have to talk about this. It's my crown. And you don't get to talk about my crown.
And I think the other thing too, my position as a former beauty editor is that we have to stop giving power to our hair.
Yes. Right.
Your hair is not your power. It is an extension of who we are, but it is not power. Whether or not it is natural, relaxed, extended, braided, or what have you, it is not power. It is hair. Is my position. But to answer your question on whether or not I think it is a fad or not, I think it is becoming a lot more about us connecting and allowing us to be who we are and connecting more with our soul. It's a lifestyle. So it works. It's about being who you are and what works for you. Oh, hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
Morgan.
Morgan. Hi, Morgan. Say hi, Morgan.
Hi, Morgan. I'm sorry. I'm just so taken by how young and beautiful you are in your hair. I'm like, it's cold outside. You're probably like, I could have been playing. So I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Well, I'm 11 and I want to be a fashion designer and I sew. And what advice would you give me for like trying to grow up to be like you guys?
Well, I have a 10-year-old, and we bought her first sewing machine for Christmas, and that was really exciting. It's an exciting time for you now. I mean, honestly, I think that you're the most creative at this age, and I still want to feel like a 10-year-old. I work on feeling like you every day of my life, because that's when no one is harnessing that energy, right? No one's telling you what you can create, right? So it's like we all want to keep our coloring books, by the way. Don't give up your crayons or your coloring books, right? Because that energy is genius, this little one here. So what you should continue to do is continue to make stuff. I used to make little bags when I was your age, and I used to sell them at school. I was an entrepreneur, yes I was. And you sell everything. You start manufacturing and selling at a young age. No one's going to tell a 10-year-old no. Let's be very clear, right? And take your sewing classes and continue to work hard. And if this is what you love and you're passionate about it at this age, I guarantee you will never lose that energy. You won't. The fact that you know at this age what you want to be is incredible. Mommy, Daddy, where are you? Oh, you're so lucky, Dad. Oh, a rock dad in the building.
I was actually 10 when I started sewing. And my mother was a designer, a local designer here in DC. She was very well known. And I thought, at the same time that I wanted to sew. And so when I started off, I started sewing and I got frustrated and threw things in the trash because they weren't made properly. And my mother would take it out of the trash and she'd say, here you go, do this again. So what I want you to do is, if you don't walk away with anything else, walk away with the fact that you want to be patient and you want to learn your craft. And if you can find someone that can mentor you while you're learning your craft, do that as well. Experiment. Just as June said, just express yourself, but also learn your craft, because there's nothing more valuable than knowing exactly how to do what it is that you want to do best.
But I smell entrepreneur with you, and I say whatever you make, you sell. All your friends, no, seriously, this is the time, because you want to be able to fund your business when you get older. And Dad, you have to realize that this is an opportunity, because there are young designers that are selling stuff online, 10-year-olds that have full-on runway collections. So if she's saying this is what I want to do and do it, keep encouraging her, and start off small. What do you love to make? If it's a sock, make a sock, and sell the sock. No one gets any, no product placement at your age. And then you save that money, you put it in a trust fund, and you save that money for your education because you're going to need it.